What's going on, guys? This is your boy XQ420. I want to welcome everybody back to another episode of Showtime with the Cube. I've got my co-host with me, Corey Hughes. Corey, how you doing?
Good. Looking forward to this episode.
Forward to this episode. If it's your first time to this channel, do not hesitate. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the follow button if you listen to us on the podcast platforms. We appreciate everybody who's checking us out so far. Today, Corey, we're going to be talking about the fourth episode of Andor. Okay, and this particular episode, it gave us a little bit. It slowed the pace down a little bit. I feel. Do you feel the same way? That the pace slowed down a little bit on this one?
I don't know that I completely agree with that. I think the overall feeling of the story might have changed now that they've gotten to that planet and they're dealing with that new group of people, so it has a different feel to it. But I kind of feel like this has been a series of a slow-building storyline that's done a good job of having action interspersed throughout to kind of keep you interested. So,
Okay.
So that's kind of where I'm coming at with this episode. I didn't really feel like it slowed down, but I did feel like the storyline was developing to a mature point.
Okay, yeah, and I probably needed to iterate my point there. When I say slow down, I'm talking about as far as the quote unquote action portion of it.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm speaking about. This was more of understanding of some characters, getting some background knowledge of what the mission will be, what they're trying to do, and introducing some new characters, and you seeing where they're getting their funds from. Because we all know that at the end of the day, any rebellion, any revolution, you got to have dollar bills, Joe. Okay, and I guess in Star Wars, you call it credits. Okay, you got to have credits. No credits, no glory. All right, that's just all there is to it. And we this isn't everything. If you broke, but you ain't winning no war. That's just all there is to it. Because you got the paper ship. All right. So this particular episode, it starts out with Andor, and I need to make sure I got these names right. LUTHEAN Rail, gentlemen on board of the spaceship, and as I predicted last time, Corey, LUTHEAN tells Andor, but I came for you. I didn't come for the Star Path unit.
Yep,
which
nailed it.
Which is like, okay, how does he know who Andor is? It didn't really give us that full indication of how he knew who he was and why he thinks he would be a good fit for this particular
right,
outset.
because we haven't really seen any long-standing relationships that he has with people who know him. He's kind of on the go. But I have a feeling that the information about him came from his sister, who he's looking for. I have a feeling that's going to be a plot arc coming up, because that would make sense. That would be the only person that we know of in his life who he has a long-standing relationship with, who could even possibly be the person who sent what's his name?
LUTHEAN Rail. LUTHEAN.
Right. So that's what kind of comes to mind when I think about when he said that. That's the only person, and that would fill a story arc, and that would be totally cool. And then they'll get reunited at some point in the near future, probably this season, because they started the arc this season. Right. So yeah, I think that's what we have to look forward to.
Yeah, and I think if I'm correct, this is going to span 2 seasons. So we're going to have 2 seasons of Andor. So
this is only going to be 2 seasons.
Yeah, from what I've seen, what I've seen so far, it's only a 2-season deal, which I'm guessing is going to span. That they should end this particular series with him meeting up with the other young lady when they're trying to steal the plans for the Death Star, which is what this is. This is kind of leading up to. So we have that interchange there. He lets him know, hey, bud, Star Path unit could give a shit about it. I knew something was up because he didn't give a shit about the Star Path unit to start off with. When he was talking to him, he's just like, "Oh yeah, just leave that shit." Man, I got plenty of Star Path units, you know. I mean, things they a dime a dozen. You know what I'm saying? So they go through that particular instance, and he allows him to know. He said, "Hey, man, just letting you know, you're gonna be part of a team, okay?" Now, Andor, he doesn't seem like a team player right now. Currently, we're getting that gist correct. He doesn't seem like he wants to be part of a team.
Right.
Part of a rebellion or anything.
He's got the typical orphan like loner vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. That's playing out before our eyes. And even when he gets into the group, he doesn't really open up at all. He's very stoic about his ways and everything. So obviously, that's leaving some room for character development later on with him becoming a leader. How do you think they're? How do you think that they are? Are they doing a good job approaching him in this early manner? Do you think they're doing a good job on that?
Yeah, I think they're handling him fine. Now he's introduced to a group of people who definitely don't want him there, right? But the Mr. Moneybags, Mr. Moneybags said, "You got to take him, or I'm shutting you down," basically for this mission. And so there's going to be trust issues here, but then this gives him an opportunity to kind of prove himself, right? And so I think we'll see that. These people will probably become very close to him, and this will probably become his like new little niche family that we see moving forward. And this mission will probably be the mission that they're like, "Okay, you're cool." And then he probably will start to open up to them. And the 30 days deal will probably become forever. So that's kind of how I see it playing out.
Yep, exactly. So LUTHEAN doesn't really convince Andor to proceed forward until he drops some credits. He's like, "Dog, I give you 200,000 credits." And Andor's like, "Really? 200,000?" I said, "Okay." So we know that he's driven by, his initial motivations right now is strictly money. And as we've seen from that Star Path unit, obviously, with what his stepmother was doing as far as work, everything's derived right back to trying to get credits to just survive. So we understand that portion of his life so far. So right now, his motivations is strictly money. Okay, can you agree with that, Corey?
Yes. Although he seems to have an aversion to sticking around any one place. This leads back to more of the childhood kind of, searching for something, running from yourself kind of psychology. So he's motivated by more than money, but we don't know exactly what that motivation is. But we will find out, I'm sure.
Yep. This is correct. So they end up getting off the ship. They land, and he meets up with the commander of this particular unit that LUTHEAN Rail has put together, Vale Sartha, and she is immediately not feeling Andor at all. I mean, period. Like, it's like, what the hell is he doing here? You know what I'm saying? And so it gives you those vibes that it doesn't really tell you how long they've been out here on this mission or scouting this particular mission. We just know that the time is drawing nigh on what they are doing. So how did you feel about Vale Sartha? You didn't really see much of her initially, except that she was just kind of pissy about Andor joining the group.
We don't really know much about her. Once she got the boot put on her neck, pretty much in regards to how she was going to deal with Andor, she went along with it and caught a lot of heat from her guys and her crew.
But she's very steadfast. She's very steadfast.
Yeah,
about like, hey, this is what it's going to be. So
right. So yeah, no, she's okay. We don't know enough about her, but she's a strong woman character. But she's doing okay so far.
Right. Okay. So from there, we actually move over to the Empire and the Imperial Security Bureau, and them having their eyes on the Ferrex case, which was Cyril Karn taking his troops out there and Just pretty much fucking up. I mean, that's what they pretty much said. They said, dog, I mean, you've made a mess out here, okay? There's just no doubt about it. So this is where the Empire gets in, and we're wondering how the Empire was going to get in this. This is the beginnings of them getting into this particular case. And do you think we're going to see more of Cyril Karn in the future? I would assume we'd have to. I assume we'd have to, but I'm not sure how. Seeing how him and his captain got pretty much kicked out, they got sent home, they got fired from their jobs for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I thought he was going to have a little bit more, and maybe he will in the future. I'm just not sure how. Do you have any type of ideas of how he may show back up? I figured he was going to be a main piece in this first season.
No, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, that's fair enough. I didn't know if you had any type of insights for that particular character. So they come through. They pretty much they strip the power from him. They send him home. No pay. Okay, no pay. You're out. You're outs. You're on the outs, and they start to go through the case. Now, there's a couple of people that look like they're jockeying for position, which I think we're seeing more and more now of how the Empire is set up and how they could kind of devolve from within with people jockeying for position. We've got the one young lady, Deidre Marrow, which is one of the Imperial leaders, captains. And then the other gentleman's name, and I want to make sure I get these names right because, I mean, it's crucial. You got to have in front of it. Lieutenant Supervisor Blevin. They almost have a back and forth, and she is trying to garner respect, move up the ranks, and she wants jurisdiction of the particular case, and he's pretty much squashing that. How do you feel about the back and forth within that? And do you think we'll see more of that, more of the division within the Empire? It seems like they're going to show a lot of the internal structures of the Empire. Yeah,
which I thought was pretty cool. But as far as she goes, well, she's obviously right? So her suspicions we know that they are correct. That will have to be borne out in a future episode. She will have to be vindicated at some point. And so, yeah, we're most certainly going to see an interaction between them again in the future. It's 100%.
Yeah. And Blevin, even when they come back before their boss, he just straight up says, he's like, oh yeah, she's just trying to gain career points. You know what I'm saying? She's just trying to move up the ladder. And the old man agrees with him. It's like, yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. I see what she's trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So we see that how even and isn't that the way usually how factions and things like that fall? Internal struggles, people trying to move up the ladders, not working in the same order. Isn't that kind of what we usually see? Isn't that usually the de-evolution of any type of faction?
Yeah, it's funny. When I was a cop, I would kind of see that with different sergeants bidding for different positions, because depending on what sergeant got placed where, certain officers, a lot of officers would flee to other shifts to try to get away from them. So yeah, there was most certainly factions in there, and there are factions everywhere. That stuff exists in every organization that there is, whether it's a government entity or whether it's a private entity. It doesn't matter. Like, that kind of inter-office politics is ever present.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're going to see more from Deidre Marrow in the future. I
Long-term prediction.
I believe she'll end up getting promoted. Taking over. Yeah, I think she's going to end up taking over the case.
She'll end up getting promoted, but at some point, I think she's going to flip. She has enough. It looks like she has enough doubt in herself currently in her position that I think she's a good candidate to flip to the rebels at some point in the future. But they only got 2 seasons, like 15 more episodes or something, so they better get to it.
Yeah. This I think the first season's 12 episodes. 12 or 13?
Is it 12? That's something I like about this show, is that besides it not feeling like a fucking dumb Star Wars show, There's a lot they can do with it. There's a lot of character development they can do in a lot of directions. I want to see more of the behind the scenes of the Empire kind of stuff going on.
It was spreading it out.
Great.
And I think the reason that they're able to do this on this particular show is because it didn't seem that they stretched the budget out trying to do a lot of CGI. Can you agree with that?
Yeah. You got the minor stuff, the speeders and the blasters, but they're not really wasting. Here's the thing: I didn't even hear about this show till a week before it aired. I didn't even know it was in production. I had no idea. So they didn't put any money into advertising. I don't know. It's like maybe they had this contractually. They had to do it. And so they put it together real quick on a lower budget. And I bet you it's going to turn out to be the best show of all of them.
Yep. You're right on point there with as far as the show. Now, after we see that little deal with Deidre and the lieutenant, we go back to the camp, and they're having their interactions. All of the people are suspicious of Andor, which they probably should be. All right, it's this random dude that's just popping up at the last minute. We about to do this mission right here in 3 days, and I got this guy. We don't know who he is. We don't know if he's going to flip on us, if he's going to shoot us in the back. And I also don't think they know in full that he's been promised all these credits. All right. And I think once somebody figures that out, that they may have a little something to say about it. They may be a little hot under the collar. Even the rebellion, even though we're fighting for a good cause, they're trying to get paid too. What do you think, Corey?
Of course, everyone's trying to get paid. I mean, it's a theme that permeates the universe, right? So, but as far as this little rebel group that we have going on here, I see some potential for both some inner conflicts between them, and I see room for the conclusion of the conflict arc, and they all get together and become one big happy family. I think that's inevitable because we have 2 seasons to get through, and he needs a home, and he doesn't have one. So I have a feeling that's where the show is going to take us.
Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. When I looked at the group, I'm like, this is the group that you going to go do some shit with. Man, the group just didn't. It didn't look very like formidable.
It wasn't Han Solo and Lando Calrissian, right?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, man, these the guys. It looked like they had just like regular guns. It didn't look like blasters. It looked like they had regular like semi-automatic weapons. I'm like, are those blasters or those got like bullets in them? I wasn't sure what they had. I was sitting there. I was like, dang boy, hey, we trying to get this thing done on a budget. You know what I'm saying? It's look, we're gonna steal some stuff, but we got to steal on a budget. Okay, we can't go over the budget. Now we end up finding something out about Luthian Rail. It seems like he has actually got a shop in the Empire in one of the cities, and he sells. It looks like relics of the past because it looks like blunt force trauma weapons and things of that nature. And we see him actually dressing up in the ship. He's putting his wig on and everything to actually go into the city and to maintain this bourgeois approach. All right. So we're already seeing
very bourgeois.
Yeah. We're already seeing the infiltration, and we see where the money is coming from. They have a senator that is actually helping them out. Now I need to find her. Yeah, Mon Mothma.
So Mon Mothma, as an OG character, goes all the way back to the original Star Wars. She's leading the battle at the end of the original Star Wars movie. So we know that nothing happens to her in the next, however long between then and Star Wars. But the feeling I'm getting is that this is within a year or two of the events leading up to Star Wars the movie, and so we can kind of feel this timeline out that things got to get moving for the rebels to bring us to where we're at with the beginning of the Star Wars movie. So yeah, we need to start seeing some action bumping off between these fledgling rebels and the Empire.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. So,
I'll tell you what I don't want to see in this fucking series.
okay.
I don't want
All
to
right,
see the Emperor. I don't want to see Darth Vader. I don't want to see any of the big name characters that we all know from the series.
Okay.
I want it to stay kind of these background characters that no one's really familiar with.
Okay, so you don't want a cameo in here.
No cameos. Don't want them. Don't need them. I'm sure we'll get one at some point, but so far they've
They
done
kind
a
of
great
don't have
job
any
with
choice,
the
do
series.
they? Do they have any choice?
I think they do. I think they do have a choice. I think they do, and I think that this storyline so far and this show so far stands up on its own 2 feet and doesn't need it. So hopefully they won't ruin it with something stupid.
Do you think? You think maybe we can see Han Solo? Maybe.
But we're going to get some bad actor or like some CGI. Maybe Chewie. Chewie's easier to pull off.
You just stick him somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Stick him somewhere.
He just has to moan one time, and it's good.
Yeah, he'll do his moan, and they're like, "Yep, we're right in there." So, Mon Mothma and Luthen Rail have a little back and forth, and it almost seems like that the Empire may have switched drivers to spy on her. Do you think that may be the case? That somebody may be afoot of what she's doing?
It's possible.
Because all of a sudden she's got a new driver. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But she also said that everyone at the bank was switched out. Like, she's just getting paranoid. So who knows? It's possible. If the Empire could switch her driver out, well, she's a galactic senator. So I guess, they would be in control of like security for them. So it's and they'd want to keep an eye on all the senators too. So it would make sense that they swapped out her driver. So hence the entire elaborate production that went on. Him going in and pretending to sell her or loan her that artifact.
Yeah, for her husband's birthday. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So it must be tough trying to communicate in that era where I'm sure every communication is tracked and recorded. It must be tough trying to organize a rebellion when you have to go meet in person under the guise of something else.
Exactly. Now, from the looks of it, it doesn't look like her husband's in on what she has going on. Did you catch anything that made you think that he had any indication that she was doing some side business with rebels?
Nope, I didn't even think about it, and it's probably not even a suspicion.
Yeah, because he actually has set up a dinner date per se with a whole lot of the high ranking people of the Empire, and she's just like, "Why the hell did you do that? I hate these people and they hate me." You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, so he sets it up. So
he's obviously trying to. So he's trying to climb a ladder of some sort with all these people coming over.
Right. So
we're probably going to end up seeing them getting pit against each other at some point.
I don't think you're going to have much of a choice from what we've seen so far. I don't think you're going to have much of a choice but then pit it against each other. And you would figure with her supplying money to the actual Rebel Alliance that the channels you have to go through and how sneaky you have to be. I'm assuming that that she will probably be funneling money through this particular business for Luthen. You think that's the case?
What was your question again? Repeat that question.
Well, with her being a senator, and she seems to be the main source of funds,
right.
for this endeavor. Do you believe with having to channel this money? From what I would look at, what I would assume is that she would be channeling this money through this particular company that Luthen has.
Yeah, it's a well. You got to think if you have a ledger through that company that Luthen has, then they'd have to be some sort of fake books on artifacts that are moving around. So it's possible. I don't think they're going to go that deep into the storyline. I think we got from it what we're supposed to is that she's the money person and that she is playing a larger role than we know so far. It also gives us the inclination that there is some sort of rebellion already afoot within the Senate, within members of the Senate. And so who knows what other allies that she has? Probably a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is true because you figure she has to have some other people within there helping
Bail
her.
Organa. She's got to have
mm-hmm.
Bail Organa, who's got Princess Leia, right, from the Obi-Wan series.
Yeah.
This is
that is true.
Give or take same time frame within a couple of years. So there's definitely something brewing that they haven't addressed yet.
Mm-hmm.
On a larger scale, I mean.
Right. Of course. Now, the actual plan is to, if I'm correct, is for them to infiltrate an Imperial weapons facility. Is that correct?
They're going after like a quarter's payroll in credits.
Mm-hmm.
So it made me think it's just kind of funny that it's the future. They have digital money. They have credits on sticks, yet they can't prevent money that's stolen from being used. It's kind of funny when you think of how digital currencies are supposed to work, that you'd be able to even steal them in the first place without them just turning them off,
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
But we're not going to go that deep in. We're not going to criticize. We're not going to go that far down a rabbit hole with them. We'll just let it go as they can steal the credits.
Yeah, there you go. Just steal them. Now, this sounds like it's a suicide mission. That's what it sounds like. 7 of them. We don't even know how many Imperial guards are there. Doesn't sound like the best place to go.
It's against all odds, like we've seen many a time in Star Wars. And so we know that they're going to succeed because they have to, because that's why the show's happening.
Right. So predictions. Out of the 7, how many you think make it out of this particular siege?
I say 5. 2 of them are going to get whacked.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. This show doesn't have any qualms against killing people, and we've seen that. So
No, I didn't have any qualms at all. Yeah, at all, period. I will probably say, I'll probably say 5 as well. There was the black guy who came up last, who was real adamant about the new guy. I figured he'd probably go down because you got to leave at least one black guy. Okay, you can't take out both black guys. I mean, come on now. I mean, you can't do that. All right, and probably the younger guy, who didn't seem like he knew what he was doing at all.
Right.
That particular gentleman's name. He just seemed kind of lost. He actually seemed like he shouldn't have been there. Yeah, Karras was his name. He actually seemed like he shouldn't have been there at all. Now the other guy, the other white guy, Orville Skeen, he seemed like he was kind of battle tested, like he's been in these situations before. So he'll probably make it back. Of course, I believe their leader will make it back. Vale Sartha, I think they still got some development with her as well. So I think me and you are in agreement there. 5 out of the 7. How quickly do you think that they will move this forward? Seeing how we still got a lot of episodes left in this series, do you think we'll have a couple episodes before that siege will take place?
Yeah, we'll probably have one more prep episode, and then the actual operation in the following episode. So yeah, I say we got one more week of them doing some character development amongst the group. Them maybe trusting Clem a little bit more, but we'll see. Yeah,
because that's his new name, Clem. Yeah, that's his new name. He's not Cassian to them; he's Clem. So yeah, that's the new fresh name that he has for the group. The last thing that I want to bring up on this particular episode is let me see if I can find it right up here. Is what do you think Luthian's ultimate role is going to be as far as any type of actual battle sequences? Do you think he will be in any type of battles, or you think he would just work from the shadows as he's been doing?
He's definitely a shadows kind of guy. He doesn't strike me as the military take orders kind of guy, but he seems more like a political operative, right? He's
Mm-hmm.
a political operative in the background. And so, I mean, he might end up getting caught up in a battle, but that's not, it doesn't seem like his style, right? Doesn't seem like his
Mm-hmm.
style at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he seems to give people the plans and the funds and traffic the funds to them to produce the results that he's desiring for this particular alliance. So I think they've done a pretty good job so far of pacing of this show and overall character development of your main characters and giving you somewhere where the story's taking you. How you feel about that?
Oh yeah, so far they're doing a really good job. Like, don't screw it up. Like, they've screwed up like every goddamn Star Wars thing they've done. I mean, The Mandalorian is fun, Boba Fett is fun.
Mm-hmm.
All these shows are fun, but none of them are like gripping, right? None of it is gripping content. This is doing a decent job so far of being gripping content, and you know, the next 2 or 3 episodes are really going to be make it or break it for them. I don't know what the ratings are. I haven't even checked what the ratings are. This is a Disney Plus deal, isn't it?
Yeah, ratings. So this particular episode was rated 8.1 out of 10.
Well,
That's
how many people watched it?
Well, that's out of 3.7 views. So we're going to go totally out of 19,000 IMDb ratings is 8.1 out of 10. So people are actually liking it, but nobody's really talking about it.
Yeah, that's
like
it.
Anywhere.
Like, yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of flying under the radar, and usually those are the kind of shows that are the best, right? Not a lot of promotion, not a lot of advertising. I mean, like, I can't believe I didn't even hear about it till about a week before the first episode. So
now we know why that is because it's not Obi-Wan Kenobi, Boba Fett. Even the Mandalorian took off, right out the gate with his suit and everything, reminding people of Boba Fett. And then it had the quote unquote Baby Yoda in it. So I mean, that's like it immediately took off.
Right. Right.
So without those, and it almost feels like it's almost like the Rogue One movie. Like when that came out, nobody really said anything. It's just like, oh yeah, Rogue One. All right.
And I think that was one of the better of the Star Wars films, since the original trilogy.
Yeah, and I think for me, I think they did a great job on that movie. As you said, not having any of the big characters in it until that last scene with Darth Vader. And I think they used Darth Vader perfectly in that movie, not using him, not showing him throughout the whole movie. And then right there at the end when they're trying to take this, and he shows up at the end. So I think if you're going to use one of these, Sith, Jedi, that's the perfect way to use them is in that way. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. 100%. Just a little sprinkling. You don't need too much. If you have a good storyline, it doesn't matter if you have those big names or not. And so far, we have a good combination of good actors, good storyline, good writing. Overall, I'm very pleased with it, which is good because I've kind of like lost hope on all like mainstream entertainment. Really, it's been garbage for fucking ever.
Okay, yeah. I can agree with you on that. Now, from what I'm seeing up here, now this is just what I'm seeing from the cast because we can kind of depict some things from the cast. It has Cassian in all 24 episodes. Okay, it only has Luthian Rail in 11 episodes and Mon Mothma in 9 episodes. So we might be seeing them briefly and then not seeing them anymore. Obviously, I don't believe. Well, Luthian Rail might die in this season. That would be my prediction. He may die near the end of this season. Of course, we know Mon Mothma doesn't. But I've looked up here. Cyril Khan, and all it says is in 4 episodes. So I'm actually surprised by that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, you'd think that they would bring him back for some sort of like redemption arc at least, right? Like to make good for the botched mission. Yeah.
So is the last moment of Cyril Khan we're gonna see him crying to his mama? I mean, is that the last one? I mean, that's a tough ending for my man. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, but you can kind of learn unless they're trying to hide. But what was it? Brasso, they say he's only in 3 episodes. That sounds about right. it doesn't even look like Bix is coming back. It just says she's in 3 episodes, so which should be the first 3. So that it's kind of interesting where they're going to end up taking this. It looks like they're going to end up showing us multiple characters. He's going to be moving to multiple places, and they're going to be introducing new people in the Rebel Alliance all along. How do you feel about that, and how it's going to tie into the overall
kind of be
storyline?
expected, through this little group of people that he's teamed up with. Once that trust is gained, he'll probably gain access to a whole nother group of people who are higher up the chain in the Alliance. But who knows? There's a lot they can do with this. And since we already know the ultimate outcomes, right, from the movie, however long in the future, they need to dazzle us with side stories. Really, that's what this show should be about. And really, it should be nothing more than 2 years of filling in plot gaps from the overarching storyline.
Yeah. And stories of people that we don't know, of course.
Correct.
Which is
Correct.
what I'm assuming they're going to have to do with the way they've got this particular show set up. So that wraps up episode 4 of Andor. How many cubes? How many cubes out of 10?
I'm going to give it 7 cubes out of 10.
7. Okay. I can go with 7. I feel the same way. 7 cubes out of 10.
It's like my good. It's like my good solid number, but it's not like it's not blockbusters, right? But it's just solid,
right?
So that's a good. That's 7.
Right. It's hard to do blockbusters. I mean, that's difficult to do. There's been so many movies made. There's been so many storylines, and it's hard to have a completely different storyline that's something new and unique. That's something only a few writers can do right now. Something that hasn't been quote unquote done before. Because as you said, you kind of got to keep everything around the same things. I mean, same themes. Man goes through the exact same trials and tribulations. It's the same now as it was 5,000 years ago. It's just that we've got more technology now. I mean, so it's just, I mean, it's the same, but it's the same thing, same struggle at the end of the day. So yeah, I think 7's pretty good. Like I said, I was fine with this episode. It allowed it to breathe, and it didn't make it seem like it was a filler, like we've seen in other series where they have a filler episode. It just kind of has nothing to do with nothing. It didn't move the plot along or anything, which is what I think we've talked about in a couple of our other series, She-Hulks and Ring of Power, where they had some of the episodes where you didn't feel like you wasn't really developing characters and it didn't really move you anywhere. So I think this still moved you places. It gave you insights to characters, new characters, you seeing where they're getting their funding from. So I think it really did a good job on that.
Yeah. It's painting a complete picture. You're not really left to guess anything. And I like the characters involved so far. They're not pushing any agendas, so I think overall it's pretty good. Yeah, right. We're not seeing anything outlandish. You're not really seeing anything woke either. I'm not really picking up any vibes of that. So So that's always a good thing. Okay, with the state of media currently. So yeah, that wraps up episode 4 of Andor. Let us know your thoughts on it in the comment section below if y'all checking that out. If you haven't checked it out yet, it is a good watch. Okay, it is a good watch. So definitely go check it out. Corey, any last thoughts? Any predictions for the audience out there? Nope. I will say though, of all the shows that we've watched thus far, this is one worth checking out. Everything else you can skip, but I think Andor, if you like Star Wars at all, or science fiction in general, I would definitely check this one out.
Yep, no doubt. And as we've talked about before, it's not your typical, Star Wars cinema, theater type movie, or type series. It's a little different, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine with that, showing the human side as opposed to when I say human, people who don't use the Force. So So that is.
I don't want to see any Force. No Force. I don't want any Jedis up in this bitch. None of that stuff. I want nitty gritty fucking rebellion and humans and maybe some droids, and that's it. That's all we need for this.
Well, if we're going off canon, we shouldn't see any Force users. About the only one that's still out there is, if I'm correct, Obi-Wan, and then
Yoda.
What's Yoda, and it would be the Ahsoka or Asaki or whatever her name is.
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka, yeah. So that technically should be your only ones besides Palpatine and Darth Vader. And if you think that the video games or any part of the well, I think those are even before this, where they have the video games with was it Star Killer?
Right, Star Killer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if they actually include that in the canon or not. I'm not sure.
I think Star Killer is canon, but what he did within the framework is questionable. But he's definitely a canon character.
Okay. All right. So yeah, part of the canon. So we shouldn't see anything Force related. If it is, it would be almost like the blind Asian dude on Rogue One. If we did see anything, that might be the only way. And so that's not overbearing. That's not something that would throw us off on the show. I don't think it wouldn't throw you off with it.
No.
As far as how you feel about it. Okay. Yeah. So we're both in agreement there. So yeah, Andor, good watch. You guys go check it out. We appreciate everybody for checking us out on this episode of Showtime with the Cube from your boy XQ420, my co-host Corey Hughes. We will catch y'all on the next Showtime. And Corey, we're gonna do some trailers, man. We're gonna do them. Okay.
We gotta do some trailers. We're all caught up. We're all caught up on everything we've watched, so we gotta hurry up and get on.
We're caught up on those. Stay tuned. We're going to be doing multiple trailer reviews. Corey, Wakanda Forever, new trailer just came out. We need to look at Black Adam. So we've got a lot of stuff we're going to be bringing you guys, okay? We're going to get our schedule together and we're going to bring you guys more stuff. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that. And we appreciate everybody for checking us out. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.